elegant solutions. The elegant solution, the term elegant solution, is not as mainstream as I would like it to be. Certainly scientists, engineers, mathematicians have long embraced the elegant solution. They spend their lives, their careers, trying to explain vastly complex concepts in the simplest possible terms in their equations and their theories. But to the everyman, to the practitioner like myself, it's rather elusive. It's not defined very well. As a matter of fact, if you go to the dictionary and you look up elegant solution, you won't find it. You'll find elegance. And the definition of elegance goes something like this: marked by incisiveness, concision, ingenuity, something cleverly constructed, apt and simple as in an elegant solution, which gets you back to zero. And it certainly doesn't tell you how to go about crafting an elegant solution. And that's the question that I was struggling with actually 6 years ago. As you heard, I spent about 8 years with a company called Toyota, a very large, very successful organization, and I was struggling in a particular project. I was trying to tell them what to do. And what made that very difficult for me is they had this internal, informal mantra, and it went something like this: people don't want our products and services. They want solutions. And when it comes to solutions, simple is better, elegant is better still. And I was struggling with that. And really the question on my mind was the question that I'd like to try and wrestle to the ground here in the next 40 minutes or so, which is, what the heck is an elegant solution? Why are we talking about it? Why does it matter? And how do you create an environment in which elegant solutions are sort of the lifeblood of the organization? Now, I sort of knew what elegance wasn't. Anything that's confusing, by virtue of the fact that certain ideas were rejected. Anything that's confusing, excessive, wasteful, unnatural, hazardous, hard to use, or ugly is probably not going to be considered anything close to elegant. It's the best I could do to come up with a picture that sort of captures those 7 dirty words. Now, in the midst of my struggle, I read an essay by the gentleman you see here. I'm sure you're all relatively familiar, if not intimately familiar, with the writings of Jim Collins. He's a well-known author. He's written several books, Good to Great, How the Mighty Fall, and his first one was Built to Last. And it was an essay in USA Today, and it was in 2003. And it actually changed the way I view the world and sent me on my journey. And in this essay, it was on December 30th, 2003, and it was titled Best New Year's Resolution, A Stop Doing List. And in that essay, he told the story of how he was at Stanford Business School. He left Stanford as an MBA, and he did what every self-respecting MBA does, which is to take a job in a company, a large organization, Hewlett-Packard, and begin the rise up the ranks. And he went back to Stanford and visited and guest spoke at one of his favorite courses there. It was called Personal Creativity in Business. And his professors sort of took him by the scruff of the neck and said, Jim, listen, you spend a lot of time with us here. We know you pretty well. Got to tell you, interesting talk, but I think you're heading down the wrong path. Let me give you an exercise. And the exercise they gave him was this. Imagine that you've been given $20 million free and clear, but you've got 10 years left to live. What would you do? And more importantly, and more specifically, what would you stop doing? And guess what rose to the top of his list? His job. Right? He woke up to the fact that he really did hate what he was doing at Hewlett-Packard. What he really wanted to do was to study organizations, figure out and decode and distill what made them successful, and to perform education in the corporate and the management realm. And he found himself camped out on the doorstep of Peter Drucker, the late Peter Drucker in Claremont, California, asking him how he can sort of follow on his path in life. But what really struck me was 2 things about this essay. The first was he said, construct a stop doing list. We're really good at to-do lists. We're really good at putting all the tasks and goals and objectives, and we're really good at prioritizing all of those things. But here's the challenge. The next time you come up with your to-do list, whether it's New Year's resolutions or whether it's your strategic goals, come up with that list as you normally would, prioritize it as you normally would, and then knock out the bottom 20% forever. That's a lot harder to do than it is to describe. Try it at home. Not an easy thing to let those things go. And what the second thing that struck me was this last paragraph. It goes like this: a great piece of art is composed of not just what's in the final piece, but what is not. And he goes on to say, it's the discipline to discard what doesn't fit, to cut out what may have taken years of effort to design and develop, that marks the truly ideal piece of work and the exceptional artist. And whether you're talking about a symphony, a novel, a business, or most important of all, a life, think about stop doing. And this